Legacy has been knocking out some fantastic reuses of molds since the first chapter, and that has really been showing with United. So let's take a look at a subset of figures that we've managed to get due to mold reuses. Hello and welcome to the Jinx, so today we'll take a look at the Legacy Triggercons. We're going to start off in release order, so Crankcase. This is probably the worst of the three, just due to the poor QC. He is a reuse of the Skids mold, which I checked out in my Star Raiders video. This was the first remold, but not the first reuse, so it has some degradation, which was since fixed on Medics and Cannonball. The amount of remoulding is amazing. It's basically a reshell. The paint details help this figure stand out, but he looks out of place next to his brothers in arms as he's darker. And he has some chos that he calls his shoulder cannons, but I'm glad they included him at least. The articulation on Crankcase is probably his weakest aspect. It's the exact same as Cannonball and Skids, but with a bit of, well, he feels very flimsy. The head, obviously, with the massive panel on the back, is on a ball joint. His chodes can move up and down, but they are extremely loose. Shoulders, this one is perfectly fine. This one's normal, but this one can barely hold anything. It falls down next to nothing, but it's got a bicep swivel, elbow, and a wrist swivel. He has a waist, a back crunch if you want to, but with this figure it's not really useful. Legs can move back that far, forward that far, well, you know what I mean, the opposite ways. Out that far, due to the sculpt of the thighs, thigh swivel, knee bend, and ankle tilt. But yeah, this is a bit of a weird figure because he could have been great. He could have been the best of the wave, which in my opinion goes for Skullgrim. But he's not it, Chief. He's not it. Just because of the QC. It's terribly handled, and they fixed it on Cannonball and Medics, but still. Considering this is the figure that a lot of people probably want to get from the mold, it's Crankcase, so to fit complete scavengers, it's not really good to have the QC be that bad in my opinion. The transformation isn't as polished as Cannonball's, but it gets the job done. The chunky getaway van is a lovely choice of op mod and doesn't feel like it's from the Skids at all. Windsweeper is definitely a sleeper hit for Triggercons. His plastic feels premium, much like it is Optimus Prime or an Android, and it's a repaint of Needlenose, which is already a fantastic figure. He doesn't include tiny guns like Crankcase, but he has his Target Master buddies that can replicate the gimmick if you slap them on his forearms. He can look boring at first, but this figure is full of life. The colours all complement each other well, and the posability helps give this figure its life. Windsweeper's articulation is flawless. It is probably the best of the three because it's a fantastic mold anyway. So the head is on, I think it's a ball joint. I'm pretty sure it's a ball joint. It has so much expression to it. Shoulders are on universals. You have the bicep swivel. You have double jointed elbow transformation. You have wrist swivel, and if you shove Target Masters on his arms, you can replicate the trigger gimmick. I don't even know if you can see that, which I think is absolutely fantastic, being able to recreate that. He does have a waist swivel, if you can actually get in there, because it's very tight on Windsweeper. More so than it's on Needlenose. Legs can kick forward that far, back that far, just to the backpack. Even if you move the wings out of the way, you can't really get much, but legs can go all the way out. Obviously, let's go forward. You've got a thigh swivel and a massive knee bend due to transformation, and of course, you have all of the foot articulation you could possibly need, which this mold is fantastic. I want more remolds of this because I want all of the Predator jets, and hopefully a new mold for Stalker because I'm not having the Buddler as a base mold for Stalker. Transformation is simple and reminds of the Classics era, and the jet is beautiful, almost like it's covered in a desert camo. You can still use a trigger gimmick by placing a Target Master under his wings, or create a booster like with Needlenose. Ruckus is the one with the most deviations from his original mold, as they added height to him. You wouldn't be able to tell he was a beachcomber retool unless you looked really closely, as they changed everything. His torso does look extremely plain though compared to the rest of him, as his limbs are smothered in G1 stickerless details. However, he also pulls off the gimmick better than the others. His shoulder cannons are separate pieces and they can be swung over his shoulders like the original. It's a fantastic use of parts. Ruckus isn't the best articulated out of all of them, that would obviously go to Windsweeper. But he does deviate a lot from Beachcomber due to how the feet work, and obviously the way the backpack has now been engineered. So he does have a head on a ball joint. Obviously, it's on a swivel. You do get some expression, but not too much. Shoulders can only go out that far due to the way the tyres collided the guns and the backpack. But if you do swing the guns back, you've still got that there. And if you want to cheat it, you can do by doing that. Does have a bicep swivel, elbow bend, and very, very tight wrist swivels that can do a full 360. You've obviously got the waist swivel, which is the full 360. Legs can go out that far, back that far, out to the side that far. You do also have a clicky knee, just due to the transformation, I think. Well, it's not even due to that. I don't know why it's there. Because the tabs were on Beachcomber, but obviously they're clearly used just here. Very weird. And then the massive, like, stiletto type of ankle tilts. But that is Ruckus, and obviously if you want to, you can do that, or take these shoulder guns off and shove them in his hands. But that's blasphemous, because what is the point in getting a Triggercon and not using their gimmick? But yeah, that's Ruckus. Like Windsweeper, this is a really simple transformation, and one that creates a really satisfying ult mode. It feels fantastic in hand and great to roll due to his rubber tyres, a carryover from Beachcomber. Overall, this is a great set, if you can find them. Crankcase will be the easiest and cheapest, as he went on sale as quickly as a certain virus spread, and you can probably still find them in your local Smiths, but the other two, they were both released and extremely hard to come across 2-packs exclusive to Amazon, but Ruckus is even harder as he was just a put few K exclusive, so good luck, but if you can grab them, you won't be upset. I have been Jinxed, and this is my look at Legacy Deluxe, Crankcase, United Doom Destruction Collection Deluxe, Windsweeper and Ruckus. Don't forget to check my book out, the link will be in the description, and I will see you next time with another character, the franchise we all love.